All right, Shalom. This is your brother Nahalia from the GMS Orlando camp. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasha Allah, and a sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word and believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. This is Luke chapter 16 and verse 19. And it reads, "There was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores, and desiring to be fed with crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. And in hell he lift up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water, and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented. And beside all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us that will come from thence." All right, and through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shah, I want to go into a lesson inspired by the image that you see before you. All right, and spiritually, this image is a representation of what was prophesied to happen to you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in these last days, who are the children of Israel. All right, the Lord said this in Deuteronomy, and I will grab that. All right, this is Deuteronomy 28, and I'm going to jump down to verse 15. "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh Shemel Shai thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." All right. Now jumping down, I'm going to start at, I'm just going to grab a few of these curses. All right. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28. And again, I'm going to jump down to verse 47. All right. And it reads, "Because thou servest not the Lord thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee." All right. And the life that you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans live on average. All right. And I'm going to make that point as well. All right. What you see before you right here. If you look at the faces of the Edomites, all right, the so-called white people that are eating at the table, you don't recognize those faces. They're not familiar faces. And what do I mean by that? The average lifestyle of a so-called white man, woman, and child in this world is better, far better than the average lifestyle of a Negro, Latino, or Native American in this world. And this is prophesied. Now, what Esau has done to you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans is he has given you exceptions to your condition. What do I mean by that? They parade the LeBron Jameses, they parade the Jay-Z's of the world, and they show you those as if they're the average lifestyle of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And they give you the narrative of what is possible. But this system was not designed for you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to share a commonwealth. So the average lifestyle of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans is that of the tail and not the head. All right. As a matter of fact, let's get that in the curses. All right, this is Deuteronomy 28 and 13. No, let me jump down to the curse. Deuteronomy 28 and 44. "He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. And this picture that you see is a spot on image of the Lord bringing this to pass. All right. Because when you go into the blessings, all right, Deuteronomy 28:13, and the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. If that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy power, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them. So if we were observant to the commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we will be above only. But in contrast, if we were disobedient, we will be the tail. And this is what this parable, all right, that the one they ignorantly called Jesus, whose name is Yahweh Shai, brought out, is about. It's about the tables turning, all right? The apostles bring this out all the time. Trading places, right? Eddie Murphy, if you haven't seen the movie, I won't give up any particulars. But Trading Places is a spiritual movie about the turning of things right side up. All right. Right now, things are turned upside down. And that is why you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans on average live a lifestyle that is a tail as a nation compared to the head. All right. And this picture gives you an example, an extreme. Right now, one extreme is that the so-called homeless person. All right. Which is becoming more increasingly you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. That's one side of the coin. And on the other side, you have the rich. All right. The well-off. When you deal with the household median income of Edomite families compared to so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American families. It's two different sides of the coin. One's the head and one's the tail, according to statistics. All right. And the Lord said that this would happen. All right. And let's get that. So I want to go to Ecclesiastes chapter 10, and I'm going to jump down to verse 5. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceedeth from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. I have seen servants upon horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth. Now that individual you see laying down, all right, spiritually represents the rich who sit in low place. Why are they rich? Why are we rich as a nation of people? Because the promises are given to us as a nation. Going back to our forefather Jacob, who received the blessing from Isaac, who received the blessing from Abraham. That election as a nation of people is still upon the nation of Yasha Allah. And that is what makes us rich, because the kingdom of heaven, contrary to popular belief, belongs to a particular nation of people. All right, it doesn't belong to everyone. It belongs to a particular nation of people as joint heirs with the one the world calls Jesus, whose name is Yahweh Shai. But right now we sit in low place. And we are drinking the cup of our doing. We are eating the fruit of our doings. Our disobedience has resulted in a common lifestyle of the curses. All right. And again, I want to say common. I want to make reference to common and average, because you judge the well-being of a nation on the average lifestyle of an individual of that nation, not on the exception. The average lifestyle of a so-called white person in this land for quite some time, and still to this day, is way better. All right, statistically, even on paper, the median household income, the likelihood of being arrested, so on and so forth, compared to you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And what we tell you through the Spirit, all right, as the messengers of the Heavenly Father, is that the reason this is happening to us as a nation is because we have disobeyed the law, statutes, and commandments. You have Dr. Umar Johnson. You have all of these so-called leaders of our nation, all right, who are trying to get our people from the position, out from under the position you see on this picture, by some carnal way, some carnal mean. But it is the Lord who ultimately put us in this position. All right. As a matter of fact, this is, let's get there. Slakia. This is Isaiah chapter 42 and 24. Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, he against whom we have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. And the Lord has responded to our disobedience with action. Okay. And the action is what you see is depicted spiritually on this picture. All right. But as Lazarus had the opportunity to be comforted after he lived such a rough life, so will we through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai as a nation. The Lord said he will yet have mercy on Jacob. All right. Matter of fact, since I'm in Isaiah, this is Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. All right. And those strangers are the Israelite foreigners. OK, verse 2 reads, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. Now, this isn't talking about the Israelite foreigners. This is talking about the other nations. And I'm going to show you how. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. All right. And that is the mercy that the Lord is going to have on the nation of Israel, that all of our enemies will be placed in captivity under the rulership of the one they ignorantly called Jesus, whose name is Yahweh Shai, and the nation of Israel as joint heirs, beginning with the first fruits. And the world, their imagination is that the condition that you see on this picture will continue forever. That this turning of things upside down is permanent, and it's not. And we are even in the time right now of that translation of power, if you can receive it. We are at the beginning of the fall. I mean, I won't even say it's the beginning, but we're in the fall of an empire. And when I saw this picture, it reminded me of the condition that we're in as a nation of people. And this picture very explicitly highlights it. But the comfort that we enjoy through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai is that this is not going to be our condition forever. All right. This is Isaiah 61 and 1. The spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai is upon me, because the Lord hath appointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. When you think about this society and the opportunities you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have, and how many of you are able to live an above average lifestyle, it's like a faucet being turned on drip. What the Lord is saying is he's going to open up the faucet so that our blessing can rain down, that our nation can be sovereign. Not just above average lifestyle under another nation of people. The world at large is dominated by the so-called white man, which spiritually is a representation of this family that's eating while this guy right here is laying in the hot sun on the concrete. But their rulership is coming to an end, if you can receive it. All right. As a matter of fact, let me bring this out. Oh, you know what? Let me continue on Isaiah 61. Isaiah 61 and verse 2 reads, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord and the day of vengeance of our power, to comfort all that mourn. All right. And the first fruits are the ones that are in mourning, the ones who understand the situation that we're in. You have a lot of our people who understand parts of the puzzle, but not the whole thing. They understand that we're in a position of subjection, but their solutions involve us still being in subjection, just with better benefits. And for example, the guy that's homeless right now, instead of him just laying on the concrete, they give him a box that he can have shade on the concrete. That is the solutions that that the so-called leaders of our people are offering our people. The Lord is offering us sovereignty. Look up that word sovereignty. And not the apostle, but the elder in Dallas brought this up a few months back. He said that our people have lost or lack sovereign interests. It's a very powerful statement when you really think about it. A lot of our people's highest dream is to just be able to sit at the seat with so-called white people and eat at the same table and have the same lifestyle that they have without discrimination. But what the Lord is going to give us is complete sovereignty. All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 15 and verse 6. For the Lord thy power blesseth thee as he promised thee, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, but thou shalt not borrow. And thou shalt reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over thee. That is sovereignty. That is what the Lord is presenting in exchange for obedience and according to the promise that he made to our forefathers. 2/3 of our people are going to be able to inherit that blessing, but they must first learn through death by pain, because this life has not been a good enough lesson for them to learn that disobedience has a consequence. And this picture reminded me of, both sides of the coin, that while we're in the state of mourning through the spirit, we also have joy. And what is that joy? That joy is the promise that the Lord said that we would not be left in this condition forever, that this would be temporary, that the Lord will yet choose Israel. All right. And have mercy on Jacob, which is who you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are, no matter how hard you fight to be something else. All right. So Lord willing, this was edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasher Allah, and a sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word and believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. Shalom.